Dawn wants the universe to save him. Lilly brags on throwing those hands, but Charmaine says she's the HBIC. The review is up next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Chi-town, 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 Chi-town.
From executive producers Maria Manu.
She wanna fuck with a nigga from
Hey, okay. Maria on the beat. What up, everybody? It's your favorite AfterBuzz crew. It's your Black Ink Crew Chicago AfterBuzz crew. What's up? What's up? What's up, ladies? So happy to see y'all.
You too.
I'm happy to hear my favorite song. I think the song is like taking over my life.
Yeah, same.
Chi-town. I'm not even from the Chi, but this just bangs. You feel me? What's up, ladies? How y'all feeling?
Good. Glad to be back.
Yes,
Had a
it's
little
good to
week
see-
off.
Yes, a whole like blazing hot week of vacation time, huh?
Yes.
Let's talk about how it was 122 degrees here in LA.
I was cool with it though.
You were cool with it?
I'm always cold, so
Yes. Well, ladies
Love
and
some
gentlemen,
heat.
well, let me start off. I am your girl Carmen, and we are your hosts.
What's up?
I'm here with. We have a lovely feeling. Kiki is not here today, but this is our friend Imani. Imani, go ahead
hey
and say something to the folks.
guys, what's up, y'all? I'm so happy to be here because I love a Black Ink Crew.
Oh, thanks for
it's real
coming.
cool.
We
Yes,
have a
thanks
lot
for
of
coming,
fun.
filling
Hopefully, you
in.
had some fun with us
Yeah.
today.
It's
We're
gonna
gonna
get
have some fun.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
get real up in here. Hey guys, I'm El Marie.
And I'm Drew Jones.
Hey, Drew, girl. How you doing?
I
We miss you
I'm glad to
every
be back.
time. Yes, we miss you.
I miss
Whenever
y'all, too.
anybody's missing. Yes. Yeah, so it's good to see y'all. We back off a break. You know, we had a week's break. Was the music still playing? Okay.
Yep.
It's a little nice
just,
little fade out
after
because my
this,
ADD is
feeling it.
really Thank you. I'm sorry. I was like, I think I was talking, but Chi-town is still in my ear, and I can't really concentrate. All right, so we back with a brand new episode, y'all.
Yeah.
New drama, you know, always new drama. What did y'all think about the episode?
Overall, this episode was kind of light on the drama. It was. I mean, there's always something going on, but it was like a little light, but interesting.
It was
You know,
interesting.
Don is interesting. I just want to snatch him up.
Dawn is very interesting. I have a take on Dawn too, but I'll save it.
It was a good palate cleanser episode. You
Yes.
know, if you have too much drama, you don't appreciate the drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm glad we got an episode where we could chill out a little bit. Dawn
Dawn.
stressed me
Dawn.
out.
I'm about to sick Lily on Don.
Yeah,
Right?
You
That's
know,
the only thing I have to say.
she
is
has a
just
purpose.
Dawn.
She has a use.
Yeah, but Don.
Dawn. Well, outside of the drama on the episode, you know, some moves were made this weekend. Rachel was at Essence Festival, so we'll hear a little bit about that and what happened. And then Ryan's mama was out on the street fighting for a great cause, so
Yeah.
we'll hear about that, which is always awesome. Let's bring some realness into this review and talk about some real things that's going on. Y'all know what I'm
so
saying?
we'll get into that in our news segment a little
Yes, we will. But how about we get into our first topic? And I want to talk about Lilly and the fact that she's very, 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 very proud of throwing those hands. Lilly came to the shop bragging like, yeah, I put them hands down and da, 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 da. I was like, okay, Lilly, you know, you go, I got to boss up how I got to do it if I got to lay hands.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about her attitude about making her? She's obviously she feels bullied, huh? Or
She does.
something.
She
She
does.
does.
And
I
I mean,
feel like she has the right to
and
feel
it's like,
bullied.
yeah,
Okay.
to a certain extent, because like she said, you know, maybe I'm not the original crew,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean disrespect me. That doesn't mean I can't have a say. So I'm starting to see her side of it a little bit, because at first I was like, girl, you didn't start this, like fall back. But I can see you are working here. Respect me.
Can somebody
Well,
refresh
she-
my memory? When did Charmaine start attacking Lilly?
Well, I feel like she started attacking Lilly by saying, you know, she brought in, what's her cousin's name?
Yeah,
she
Danny,
brought
Danielle.
in Danielle. So Lilly is like, well, why? And she's like, well, she's been here. So that's already like throwing borderline shade, because you're saying like, you knew, stay in your place. She's going to be here regardless. So I feel like Lilly is coming from a place of like, even though she's not handling things in a professional manner. She's thinking about money.
She handling that thing on the street,
Right.
Yeah, so she
Street
still
level.
has that hustle mentality, and she's taking this very seriously because she's like, I have to eat, and I'm the one that's bringing in money.
Yeah. Because oh, go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie. Like last week, I was kind of tough on Lilly because I'm like, Lilly, you're losing your mind. You're all over the place. You're throwing hands. Why? Why are we resorting to fighting? But today, when I watched the episode, she expressed herself like, look, I'm fighting to make this shit come together, be in order, for y'all to respect me. I just think that she's so street, and she's really, I think that she's gangster. Like, I think that girl comes from a family of gangsters.
Yeah.
She does.
And she does. And I
Yeah,
think
she
that's
really
how
does.
she knows how to handle herself. But now that she's emerging into this larger world, which is television and business, that she has to learn how to take those hands and apply it mentally and throw those mental jabs. Like, you know what I'm saying?
for
Like,
sure.
not even mental jabs, but just the finesse and the way to carry yourself like a woman and not just a gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just learn how to handle yourself.
But I will admit that I do understand her a little more this week. I
Same.
do.
I'm yeah.
Well, because I think when Ryan left, everyone was ready to throw in the towel, and it really was Lilly who was like, nah, we can still make this happen. So I understand her feeling some type of way when Charmaine came at her. And then also, she kept being like, who's going to check me? Who's going to check me? So Lilly checked you. You kept asking
That
for
she
it.
really said that. Like, you was asking her for it. And
And she was in her personal space, and they all know Lily. They know where Lily come from. So you're talking. Lily's not going to be talking for a long
It's like you guys
time.
you're not gonna argue that much. You
keep it in your hand.
It's gonna get thrown.
Exactly. You keep putting your hand up in the face of a bear, it's going to get bit off. And you need
Right.
Most definitely.
to stop acting surprised
It's
by
just,
it.
there's a place that comes a point in life where all of that, it like, growing up, when you grow up in a tough place, the tougher you are, the more respect you get. But when you transition to that into a different walk of life, sometimes like the more aggressive you come off, the more you turn people off, and and that respect then turns to a thing like, what's wrong
I
with
think
you?
that's what
Always
Charmaine
like
was
that.
trying to say.
Yeah,
about
like
her, too.
it's just she has to evolve. That's all.
But what I will say is her mentality is kind of like a guy's, because she was like, I'm over it. You know, guys can fight and be
Yeah,
like, and
she
be
was like,
bros, and
that's
that's
how
like,
I
all right,
do-
we just had to get it out.
That made me understand her a little bit more. Like, oh, it happens. Like, you needed to
Right.
get checked. I
Yeah.
checked you.
Now let's
And
move
now
on.
let's
It was like
move
she
on.
wasn't even really
Right.
still having a problem with Charmaine. It's like, all right, let's move past it.
Right.
Yeah.
Charmaine's like,
But you can't do
like
that in the
my
real
eye.
world. You
Yeah,
can't. You just
no.
can't. But she checked her though.
That is true.
But they had to put that beef to the side because Dawn got an emergency phone. Well, not Dawn. Phor got an emergency phone call that Dawn is back in more trouble. But we will get back to that in a second after we have some lovely information shared with us from the network.
Yes.
Get this one.
Hey, AfterBuzzers. Our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about the pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yeah. I don't know, like your voice just made me like dance. I'm just
That was my
Drew.
that was like my sultry like
Yeah, I like
QVC.
it.
Always feeling it.
Also, though, make sure you guys rate us on iTunes. If you are listening on iTunes, make sure you give us those 5 stars for the Black Ink Crew Chicago Review and all the other shows that you enjoy right here on AfterBuzz. So iTunes, 5 stars. Make sure you do that.
Yes. Shout out to our girl Kiki too. While we're in this, Kiki, she got a shout out from Drake. Kiki said, "Are you?" Drake said, "Are you riding?" And Kiki said, "I gotta be back. I'll holler at y'all in a few." So she been riding with Drake for a few weeks, y'all.
I thought it was a real shout out. I was like, what?
Champagne Poppy?
Say, Kiki, are you riding? Kiki was like, "I see y'all." Drake,
Bye.
Drake needs me to ride.
Quick
So,
little
shout out
dance.
to Kiki. But back to our boy Don. So Don gets in trouble, y'all. Don gets caught drinking
He's
behind
pissing me
the
off.
wheel.
He is pissing
Don
me
is
off.
Is he
always
pissing y'all off?
pissing me off.
I have Don is a psychologist. I have a theory on Don. I paid attention to Don this week.
What's your theory?
What y'all do?
Are you saying because he's a little manipulative in how he handled that counseling session? Because that's all
I think he really is drinking the coke with his. Well, maybe not drinking, but he probably had a drink. Maybe he just was at the bar, and sometimes you aren't even that drunk, but that 0.2 or whatever.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
He a big dude,
It may
though.
be because but it's like explain it more because the DUI is very serious.
It
so
is.
I was upset with him being so nonchalant about it when there are
Seriously.
people that have lost their lives or people who have been, you know what I mean, drunk
Yes.
behind the wheel and hit an innocent person and took their life.
No.
So that's serious.
DUIs
Don.
are nothing to play with.
Yeah.
Like, just drinking behind the wheel, like, just don't do it. We have enough car services now. You can call Uber, you can call Lyft, you can call a friend, you can get a shared Lyft, whatever. You know, it's just so much that you can do to avoid putting somebody's life in danger.
And like you said, if it wasn't that much, because maybe he was only like a point over the legal
who
limit.
knows?
So to me, it's like say that. Don't act like it's not a big deal.
But
Because
see-
what did I wrote down what he said about it? Oh, it was a one-time little situation.
Yeah.
Right, very nonchalant. But you know what? Okay, so this is what I'm noticing. I'm going to draw this conclusion. This is just me putting together my alleged, the way it's going. So Ashley finally, for the first time, gets the nerve to go to an entirely different state and say, Dawn, get your shit together, right? And so Dawn knows that it's going to take something drastic. I would never say, he didn't do the DUI on purpose, but once he knew that he had something in his hand to shift that energy and to draw her, because at this point, she's running this way with the energy. So now that he has something that's going to make her care, I'm in trouble. I know how my wife acts when I'm in trouble. I know that I can draw her towards me. I can't say too much too soon because it's almost like she's a magnet to trying to save him.
Yeah.
So if he draws this way and he's quiet and doesn't explain himself, she comes a little further like, oh, so I came all the way to Texas and you're not gonna even say nothing to me? Oh, okay, well now I gotta stay here. You notice that was the next thing she said, now I gotta stay here and make sure Dawn is okay for my son. I feel like that's Dawn's plan.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still her son too. It could be his plan, but he seemed like he didn't even want to talk about
But
it.
if that
he's
is
just
his
like-
plan, he's trash. Like, he's fine, but he's trash
Yeah,
because
very manipulative.
first of all, he acts like it was his idea to go into therapy. After she asked him,
Yeah.
he turned around and took the he was like, yeah, I wanted to do this. No, fam, we saw the scene before. You were very anti this, and she had every right to feel the way she did because whether DJ was in the car or not, you're still out here wilding while my son's with you. Like, I'd be mad as hell.
And I'm not
care.
around. I'm miles away.
Yeah, I don't
And she
care
was
how I
very
feel about
mature
you.
in how she brought it up to him. Like, tell me what's up, and he still was just like nothing.
Right.
I just think
I'm good.
I think he knows her well enough to know that that's gonna draw her closer.
Well,
that's
Yeah.
gonna shift the energy back into his favor, where she is now trying to make it right again. Because you notice in the therapy session, he was like, "Oh, don't say you putting your foot down, cause don't act like I'm begging to be back. All of that shit is tactics. Those are
Yeah.
tactics.
We would've fought in that
What do you
therapy
mean?
session.
She doesn't have a foot to put down.
Exactly.
She's your wife. Your wife's foot can be put down.
have a foot
She
to put
has
down?
2 feet to put down and one to put up. Your ass, Dawn.
Listen, because I mean, on top of that, like, you have cheated on me. Now there's a possible another baby. You had a baby on me already.
Oh, right,
now
right,
there
right.
may be another child, and I don't have a foot.
We took a whole child.
Oh,
And
baby.
then
She
she's
better
sitting here
than me.
saying how all of his cheating has changed her as a person, and he's acting like it's nothing. She's like, I don't feel good enough for you, and he's like, quit playing, quit. No, like, you sat here and cheated on this woman with multiple people
Right.
and had babies on her. Like,
But on
it was-
television at
it
that,
was
like,
just-
so it's always hard to deal with relationship drama. But when you have to deal with it in the public eye, like,
Right.
that is very
And
hard.
after the Snapchat situation, but to me, even just sitting there, I'm like, he started off not necessarily just blaming her for all of the things, but he just
Yes.
wasn't owning any of
Anything.
these
That's
things.
what I noticed. He
Any-
took no ownership.
until the end of the counseling situation. And he's like, I know I done caused some things. My name Don. And it's just like,
he brought
he's
the common sense
playing
out of
the
him.
game. It's just
Yeah.
like
But, all
down,
right,
and
but
I
so
just
see,
couldn't.
well, it's not cool, but all right, just to play like devil's advocate, I'm just throwing this out there, and I'm not saying this is what I would do, but what if you knew your only chance was to like play your card this way to get your wife's interest back in you? Like,
I want to put myself in that
No.
situation in the first place.
Yeah.
You see, what's homeboy
That's
name that just got his clothes
But he-
barbecued?
Oh,
he
Terrance.
came with a slideshow. That was
Yes.
nothing to me. But
Right,
Don
but
could have came with a
Yeah.
slideshow. Look when you was pregnant,
Yes.
baby. Look
Some
at
type
us.
of
Look at when
effort,
we was
you know?
happy.
Wow.
And it was none of that. So it's just like, no.
Speaking of which, I guess we'll have to see how this counseling works out for Dawn and Ashley. Dawn seems to think that a lot of Ashley's problems she had already. Ashley seems to feel like they come from Dawn. You know, he definitely admits that he's fighting some demons, and he says that he just needs some time to himself. I think this is elevation for both of their characters because they do both have some growing to do. And I hope I'm seeing two soulmates that just are together to work through their issues together and to remain a family, because I'm always on the side of black love healing people, regardless of what you go through. I know people have their opinions about fidelity and monogamy and all of that. I'm one of those people that happen to think that men were not made to be monogamous. I just happen to think that. So I know I have an unpopular opinion.
I don't think anyone was made to
Here's the thing. When people
Not just
always say
men.
that, when
Me
people
too.
when people always say that, I don't even think because of marriage and marriages in the Bible, people think we were made to be that way. If we were made to be that way, there wouldn't have been a such thing as adultery in the Bible. You are supposed to fight the temptation. Nobody was made to just be with one person naturally, but you're supposed to make the effort to be with that person and only that person if you make that vow. That's the difference.
But my question has always been,
on me for a
like,
while.
I feel you. My question, I just go off of what people do by nature. Like, by nature, if a fat ass walks by, a man is gonna be like,
Because
and
society
I'm by
accepted that,
nature,
though.
like science.
So,
You know, it's like their genitalia is on the outside. It gets stimulated, it rubs against pants. It's like, hey, I'm here. You know. So it's like, I just feel like naturally men show us that they crave more than one thing, more than one physical type,
Okay,
more
but
than
that's
one
the way that I
personality.
see it too. Like, I'm a vegan, right? And I'm vegan by choice. But you can say, like, we have teeth to eat meat, and that would be like our natural thing. But I'm making this conscious decision to be vegan. So if I'm making a conscious decision to be with someone, then that is a choice that I need to adhere to because we made this decision.
Yeah, but also I feel like the only reason that men aren't expected to, or whatever, is because society has allowed them to do that. If women were set up in the same situation where we weren't expected to be the homebodies or whatever, then we probably wouldn't be as monogamous either. But I don't think anyone's meant to be monogamous.
But it's just weird. Like, okay, for every one guy, there are, let's just say, 10 women. Does that mean that 9 women were meant to be single? Does that mean that 9 out of 10 women, if there's one out of, you know what I'm saying? That's not fair. I think that when it comes to polygamy, and I'm not saying that it's not, you necessarily have to go as far as polygamy is concerned, but when it comes to a man being with more than one woman, the fact that you cannot be jealous of another love that is creating a larger love within a bunch of people makes you even stronger, because then your spirit can't be broken. Then you aren't nurturing the spirit of jealousy inside of you. It's like all love. Like, you love her, you're taking care of her, you mean we can provide for her too, and we're all getting better. Like, and I know it's just a left field thing to think of, but I feel like if we learn to share love, I feel like we learn to share love as more in a village way, we would have less thing to attack people about.
Yeah,
I don't particularly like to share. It's not about that, but I'm realistic about the fact that it may happen.
Yeah,
But
No,
and
I
also
totally
you
understand
don't
your point,
control
right,
your
but-
man. Like, your man isn't. You can't control him. Like, we're all individuals, and I would never want to control somebody. Like, you should do what you want to do.
But
And I would hope that I'm what you want to do.
Yeah, but I think the point with Ashley is less obviously the cheating pissed her off, but it's less about the cheating. It's the lying, it's the deceit, it's the going out here and making me look stupid in front of all these people, because you're not just doing it like in closed court. Like, you're putting that on Snapchat, like, for the world to see. You're embarrassing me in front of all these people.
Right.
Because when he was with Charmaine, you did it at a party.
But you know what
And
he
where
brought
people
up?
knew.
He said, like, I think he's uncomfortable in his skin because he tried to do something that he wasn't ready for. He said, let's get to the deeper issues. Like, I'm trying to be something that I knew I couldn't be. And before I could even become the man that I needed to be for myself and watch myself mature and grow into a man, I had to be a man for you. And he's basically saying, like, I wasn't ready for this shit. Like, and I tried to do it to make you happy. And now the person I love the most, I'm hurting because me as a man, I didn't have time to get ready for this. And I think that is important because we always go back to that. You can't force a crown on anybody's head. They have to carry it upright for themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's got to learn to walk the walk that he really took when he went down that aisle. You know, so it's a lot of issues going on, but that doesn't excuse.
That doesn't excuse, and I don't think he approached it the right way, because I do believe, and I understand what he was saying, like, and Ashley may have some deeper issues, and you know what I mean, because she may have had insecurities even before cheating or whatever. We don't know the very beginning of their relationship, but that wasn't the approach to take, though, Don, because it was very offensive, you know what I mean, the way he was going at her.
And then the truth of the matter is that their situation has been very traumatic. Like, how can he understand that? Especially a woman who has carried your children.
It is. You have a point. And I don't mean to cut you off, but we're moving kind of quickly. Speaking of approach, let's just hit on this really, really quickly. How do you guys feel about Terrance's approach to making up with Danielle?
It was simple, but now looking at Dawn, I'm like, it was so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
when the bar has been set so
like,
low.
I wasn't sure if it was so sweet, but then after the next scene, I was like, yeah, well, I guess in 2018 he did the most.
She was real easy, I must say, because I don't know if I'm a little stubborn.
I think she has serial killer tendencies because she plans out all of her things. Like, she puts on aprons and dresses up and has drinks while she waits for her victim to come and get caught in her web.
That whole storyline was real, like, they needed a filler for this episode, so.
Because it was super short. Like, I burned your stuff.
Well, I want to get
I
to
shouldn't
that.
even finish it. Did y'all see the pallet clothes on the side of it? Come on now.
Right, come on. If you're going to burn it all, honey. Don't leave them nothing. Make them have to borrow your stuff and wear
Angela
pink
Bassett
Victoria's
that situation.
Yeah, you got to wear some
jumpsuits.
Victoria's Secret pink sweats tomorrow. Because my girl burnt all my shit for cheating and I need to be embarrassed. But I want to get to the main topic is really what Charmaine did, because she did some crazy shit. And I really don't disapprove or like go against Charmaine too much because that's my girl. But like, I think it's wild. But before we do that, let's get into some real life news. Have you been keeping up with these guys, Al?
Yeah, let's get into this news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So this past weekend, 4th of July weekend, we had Rachel was at Essence Fest and she was on a panel there. I don't know. I don't want to pronounce the name of this company wrong. The Mielle? Okay.
Maybe.
Mielle, maybe. So it's a hair product, but they had a panel at Essence Fest. And you know Essence Fest is really driven about women empowerment, and business. So actually a lot of the other ladies on there are entrepreneurs as well. So that was a really good look for Rachel to be out there and also promoting her nail polish line, Pearl Nova.
Yes.
Pear Nova. So that was really cool. Yeah,
so
big up to Rachel. That's a big
outside
move.
of storyline in real life, Rachel making boss
making
moves.
moves.
Congratulations, Rachel. We're proud of you.
Yep.
Always.
And then also recently, maybe some of you have seen this in the news on Shade Room and the Real News as well. So Chicago had a peace rally not too long ago. They shut down a major expressway to combat gun violence and just all kind of nonsense. And so Ryan's mom was there, and you know, Nova, his sister, and the baby was killed by her boyfriend / lawyer a while ago. So she's always taken a stance to do something to fight against violence and fight against domestic violence. So she was there at the rally, and she actually had a moment where she kind of had a breakdown. And I know in this text, the person was saying that they saw her, and because it was so hot, they thought she was overcome maybe by the heat, but then they approached her and realized that she was just kind of having a moment and having a breakdown. But I admire Lonnie's strength. That's his mom's name. I admire her strength, because it's been a long time, but like I said, anytime that there's something to go on with violence, she's always out there speaking on that. Like,
so
to
amazing.
lose your daughter and your grandchild, but you always have the strength enough, even if you have a moment, you have that strength to stand up and fight for them.
Yes.
So, I think
Yes.
that's
Thank you very
important.
much, Mrs. Henry, for that strength and that courage to like face that pain, but to still have the courage to try to help someone else. We really appreciate your courage. We really appreciate that strength.
And then
from
when you fight through your
and
pain, that's the ultimate strength.
Yeah, it is. It is, and we pray for your healing. You know, I'm sending up good energy for your healing. Whenever I hear the story come up, it's always like heart wrenching. So. Yeah, thank you for your bravery, for speaking out and just being there through your pain.
On a lighter note, we had Don, so I guess Ashley's forgiven him. Or maybe this is his way of getting him to forgive her.
Is this the Terrance?
One of the ways.
One of the ways.
I think he got a couple of ways.
So he was at a strip club or whatever, and I guess he was acting as the stripper, and we had a little oopsie there.
Come on, Don.
We had to wait for it.
Oh, we sorry, iTunes, that you can't see that.
That's
but
like
honey,
too strong.
Don tried to swing. Don tried tried to swing from the rafters, and the universe once again conspired against him.
The universe ain't
Not
never
today.
working on Don's
No,
side.
that's too much man for that pole. That was too much man for all of that.
Well, he is a whole lot of man, honey.
But no, he did a video and he's like, he's okay.
Well, that's good.
So he's up and he's good.
All right, so the news was great. Thank you very, very
You're
much.
welcome.
So the main topic. Charmaine decides to pull a move that
Pull
I think
Ryan.
was shady. And not even so much Ryan, because when Ryan brought the idea to his old crew, it was his idea. This came from Lilly saying, let's keep this together. Let's call ourselves, they all sat and they all put their heads together, thought of the name, and then to pull a power move, she goes and buys an LLC, like that makes her the boss of everybody and tries to fire Lilly.
That's just shady because
It was shady.
It was.
It's shady and
She OJ'd that shit, like,
because you know
cut
what?
your throat.
Because you know what it makes, if I was on that team, it'd make me feel like, damn, I step out of line. Like, what, you gonna fire me? Like, if you don't agree with something I do, when I thought we were all in here as partners.
Right.
Yeah. It was
I
like
love
you didn't
her,
have a
but-
conversation with anyone to try to talk to us about like maybe what steps we should take to get this business organized, and you just went and did it on your own. Like that's very foul.
That was
Yeah, it was
that was vindictive.
very
Like, I'm gonna
shady.
get Lilly up out of here. Meanwhile, Ryan is building his new non-mag, and he had Junior come through to manage that because he's trying to get his management. And I'm just gonna be honest, I couldn't hear anything Ryan was saying because his arms were so buff. I was like, this nigga's getting thick. He okay, like I know you're talking, but all I see is your guns and yeah.
But do you feel that
You're
that's
looking
why?
good. He's in the gym.
Like the whole Nine Mag crew, they probably felt like they built Nine Mag because how Ryan was trying to get Junior to come help him build.
Yeah.
So it's like, Ryan, just go get you some people from Home Depot, or go get you some crack kids in the local street and get them to paint. You could hand them some water, hand them a couple dollars.
I guess it was like he wanted Junior to be there in the rut.
He wants
in the
a part
grit,
of the, be a part of the
there,
process.
yeah.
But it's like we've tried that already and it didn't work, Ryan. So this is your business.
Right.
You need to
Yeah.
handle it. I love Ryan.
Well-
And again, like just real quick, like we always would talk about his communication. It's like let Junior know you're still like you're not up and running yet.
Right.
If you're bringing
Right.
someone in to work, let them know it's not gonna be a lot.
Yeah,
of work.
because Junior's like, boy, I got money to make. You got me
Yeah.
coming to an empty shop. Like, what is
Yeah,
this?
you gotta have your shoes on.
So,
you gotta have a fit.
that's just Ryan
right.
wanting to be sentimental. He's like, come on,
Yeah.
bro, like get your
Yeah.
feet dirty with me. Come on, just put your feet in the soil. This is the ground. We breaking new ground. Like, come on, let's grow this thing
Yeah.
together.
Well,
But I don't know. I think it was messed up, Charmaine. That's not the way you get rid of a friend. You tried. You didn't think your chess move out enough. Like you threw your queen out there, but you didn't realize she could just get swiped by a pawn real quick. Like you played yourself a little bit, Charmaine. Like you showed your hand too soon. Like you should have went about that a different way.
yeah.
Because we're gonna see next week.
I was just about
But y'all
to say
need
that next week is gonna be so juicy.
Let me not say
so-
what y'all need to do. Let me go into predictions before we wrap this thing up. Can we get some
Your
predictions?
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Do I think that Dawn might think about leaving the shop? Maybe.
Donna 4.
Four.
Four.
Why do I always get them mixed up? It's hard to tell
four.
chocolate apart sometimes. It's just so fine, Lord.
I don't think Phor is gonna leave because the drama and the attention is really happening on Loyal Inc. right now.
It
Yeah,
is. It's
true.
real messy over there.
And I'm just gonna predict that Charmaine, she's getting them hands again.
Yeah.
I don't
even. She's getting snatched.
Yeah,
That's all I
got
gotta say.
snatched.
I'm
literally.
predicting that they have to find a way to bring about some order because it is a shit show right now.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna end anytime soon. Like I think the Charmaine Lilly thing's gonna keep going for a couple episodes.
It don't need
And
to.
I'm
If
here
I was
for it.
Charmaine, I'll leave it alone. I'll be like, you know what, Lily?
I'm here for it. Drama. So next
But why
week
did
it'll be juicy.
Ryan laugh like that? It just popped in my head when he found out that Lily gave Charmaine a black eye. Why did
Yeah,
he get there?
I
That
would
little
laugh
chuckle he
too.
got in.
'Cause he was
it probably
like-
felt good a little
It
bit.
was like
oh.
there's still nonsense there, but we'll
Right.
see everything next week when Charmaine getting snatched and all this other drama.
Yes. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if Ashley gives in yet and how much further in Dawn can draw her back in. Because now he's threatening her with space.
Yeah.
Which is really going to make her lose her mind.
Child.
Well, he needs it.
And we'll have to wait and see what happens with Loyalty ink blot. It's an ink blot right now. It's not quite a tat. It's just some drippings. We'll have to see what it turns into. Until next time, I am your girl, Carmen. You can catch me on Instagram at king_Carmen_.
And I am Imani J. You can find me on all social media platforms at Imani A. Jack and at MoniJTV.com, where I'm covering everything pop culture and news.
Thanks for being here, too,
Yes,
lady.
thank you guys. Thank you
Love
for
your
filling in.
energy.
And I'm El Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter, of course, at El Marie TV.
And I'm Drew Jones. You can find me on all the things at OK Drew J, or you can check out my podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud, The Curve.
Yes, and Kiki, when you get off a tour with Drake, we'll be waiting for you for all the tea.
Yes.
We miss you, and we can't wait to see you guys next week. I hope you tune in. We'll see you then. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.